Golfunity, the most popular golf infotainment podcast in town.
For everyone, and welcome to Golfunity, the most popular golf infotainment podcast in town.
Get ready, folks.
Buckle up, you savvy golf fanatics, because you've just teed off into a seriously special deep dive, episode Ludvig Åberg.
That's right.
Forget the water hazards of shallow analysis. Today, we're going full scuba into everything that makes this Swede the talk of the tee box.
And we've compiled a pretty fascinating collection of insights for you today. Think of it as your cheat sheet to understanding Aberg's rapid ascent.
Yeah.
We're looking at everything from, well, how betting odds are shaping up for the 2025 Masters based on his trajectory, to detailed breakdowns of his Ryder Cup impact.
Mm-hmm.
And even going way back to his formative years, to understand the roots of his game.
Exactly. Your mission, should you choose to continue listening, and let's be honest, why wouldn't you, is to get the unvarnished truth about this phenom.
Yeah, cut through the noise.
Yeah. We're cutting through the hype to understand what's genuinely special and maybe even, a little bit controversial about Ludvig Åberg's lightning-fast journey to the top.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking major moves, whisperings of future dominance, and enough electrifying golf to power a small country. We'll dissect his path from a presumably quiet corner of Sweden right onto the global stage, pinpointing the pivotal moments and, well, the mindset fueling it all.
We'll definitely trace that journey from his amateur accolades, that seamless transition to the professional circuit.
Seamless is the word.
Right through to his victories, his really impressive showing at Augusta, and that standout Ryder Cup performance. Our goal just to give you a well-rounded perspective on where he's come from and what the future might hold.
Okay, let's get this deep dive officially underway. Ludvig Åberg, born in '99, in a Swedish town that, legend has it, once held the esteemed title of most boring in Sweden.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too.
Now, that's a spicy start to any story, wouldn't you say? Clearly, that label didn't apply to the golf scene brewing there.
It's an interesting contrast, isn't it? He picked up golf at 8, introduced by his father, but his primary sport was actually soccer until he was about 13.
Oh, okay. Soccer first.
Yeah, played central midfield. He apparently enjoyed it for the control it offered. And it's worth noting that this multi-sport foundation, developing different athletic skills and maybe a strategic mindset, is something his later coaches recognize as pretty beneficial.
From controlling the midfield to commanding the fairway. Interesting. So what sparked that switch? And give us the scoop on his home turf.
Well, he honed his skills at Eslov's golf club, a place he actually still goes back to when he's in Sweden.
Oh, cool.
And then, after a year in regular high school, his dedication to golf led him to the National Sports High School in Helsingborg. That placed him right within the Swedish national team's development program.
Right.
I mean, imagine that disciplined environment.
Yeah.
Focused practice, tough academics, then back for more focused practice. That kind of commitment early on, it really speaks volumes.
Talk about a dedicated training regime. You can see how it laid the groundwork for this player, one source cleverly dubbed a minimalist superstar.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds as his ascent wasn't just about, endless repetition on the driving range, but maybe a much more comprehensive and thoughtful development process.
Precisely. And even before turning professional, Aberg was a dominant force in the amateur ranks.
Yeah.
At just 17, he captured the prestigious Annika Sorenstam Trophy. Then he held the #1 amateur ranking for nearly 30 weeks, accumulating an impressive 13 amateur victories.
13! That's not just showing up, that's outright dominance. And get this, he even notched 2 professional wins on the Swedish golf tour while still an amateur.
Right. Talk about an early flex, like you said. A serious hint of what the pros were about to face. And his amateur success then propelled him to Texas Tech University. He continued winning there, securing 8 collegiate titles, including back-to-back Big 12 championships.
8 more wins.
Yeah, and remarkably, in his final amateur season, he finished inside the top 10 in every single one of the 9 events he entered. Every single one.
Wow. And here's a nugget of information that should really grab your attention, listener. Åberg made history. He became the first player ever to earn a PGA Tour card based solely on his college performance, topping the PGA Tour University ranking in 2023.
Yep, a brand new pathway.
That's not just a fast track. That's like a hyperloop straight to the top.
Pretty much. His professional debut came just after that, June 2023, Canadian Open.
Yeah.
Finished tied for 25th. Pretty respectable start.
Decent start.
And from there, the victories followed with, astonishing speed.
blink and you'd miss its speed. He clinched the 2023 Omega European Masters title in just his second DP World Tour start.
Second start, yeah. Incredible.
Then, making his mark stateside, he snagged his first PGA Tour victory at the 2023 RSM Classic. That was only his 13th PGA Tour event. Cruised to a 4-shot victory over Mackenzie Hughes.
Just kept rolling. And then, adding to that grilling list, 2025 saw him conquer the Genesis Invitational. Edged out Maverick McNeely by a single stroke in a really tightly contested final round.
Whew.
So within a remarkably short professional career, he's already got 2 PGA Tour wins and that European Tour victory.
What truly stands out for me is how quickly he adapted, and won on both sides of the Atlantic. It just screams volumes about the adaptability of his game and his mental toughness under pressure.
No, I agree.
Plus, you just can't deny he's got that crucial winner's mentality, that sort of steely resolve to close out tournaments.
Definitely. And speaking of major championships, his debut at the 2024 Masters was... Well, it was nothing short of breathtaking.
Absolutely.
He finished as the runner-up, just 4 strokes behind Scottie Scheffler, carding an impressive 7 under par for the tournament.
And he led. He held the lead at points during the event.
He did, as a rookie.
A rookie finishing second at Augusta. That's practically unheard of in recent Masters history. It instantly catapulted him into the conversation like he's a serious contender in every major going forward now.
No question.
And just to put it in perspective, that performance earned him a cool 23.5 million Swedish krona. Not a bad week's work, eh?
Not bad at all. His other major appearances in 2024 were, admittedly, a bit more of a mixed bag.
Yeah.
He missed the cut at both the PGA Championship and the Open Championship, but he did manage a solid tied for 12th finish at the U.S. Open.
Okay, T12 at the U.S. Open is still pretty solid.
It is. So while the consistency maybe across all majors is still developing, that Masters performance was undoubtedly a huge statement.
Then came the 2023 Ryder Cup. Talk about a pressure cooker for any golfer, let alone a rookie on the team.
Oh, yeah. Massive stage.
He wasn't just part of the European team. He was, instrumental in their victory.
Absolutely. Captain Luke Donald showed immense faith in his potential. He selected him for the team even before Ludvig had competed in a major championship.
The captain's pick, right?
Whoa.
Bold.
Very bold.
Yeah.
But it ultimately proved to be a masterstroke.
What an introduction to the global golfing audience. His partnership with Viktor Hovland was just electric in the foursome.
Unstoppable.
They absolutely dismantled the highly touted American pairing of Scottie Scheffler and Sam Burns.
Yeah.
And then, incredibly, they inflicted a historic 9-7 thrashing on Scheffler and Brooks Koepka.
9-7. The largest margin of victory in Ryder Cup history. You can't make that stuff up.
Seriously.
That Saturday morning performance was truly legendary. Now, they did lose their 4-ball match later, and Aberg was defeated by Koepka in his singles match.
Right, Koepka got him back there.
He did.
Yeah.
But his overall contribution to the European triumph was just undeniable. That Ryder Cup really showcased his talent and, maybe more importantly, his composure on one of the biggest stages in golf.
Digging deeper into that Ryder Cup performance, watching the footage, you could see even when he faced a tough spot, remember that slightly mishit chip early on? He just had the mental fortitude to shake it off and bounce right back.
Stayed level.
And that dominant stretch with Hovland, they were just relentless, winning hole after hole. It was almost unfair to the Americans.
And what was fascinating to observe was the instant chemistry, really, and the effectiveness of that partnership.
Yeah, they clicked immediately.
They seemed to complement each other's games perfectly. And even in his singles loss, like we said, he showed resilience. But those commanding foursomes victories were absolutely pivotal in swinging the momentum Europe's way.
Right. And some of those shots were just pure artistry. Remember that controlled fade into a tight pin? Even the commentators were kind of left speechless.
Oh, yeah.
But what impressed me just as much was his demeanor. Even when a putt lipped out or a wedge didn't quite find its mark, he maintained this remarkable composure. That minimalist approach seems to extend beyond just his swing, maybe to his whole on-course attitude.
Precisely. And looking at his statistical profile, even in these early stages of his pro career, the numbers are really compelling.
Okay, let's break those down a bit.
Well, he currently ranks high in strokes gained, off the tee, sitting at 9th on the PGA Tour right now.
Top 10 off the tee, that's huge.
It is. And his driving distance, 306.9 yards on average, places him respectably at 36th. So it demonstrates both power and accuracy from the tee.
Long and straight.
Basically, yeah. To put it simply, he's consistently hitting the ball long and finding the fairway.
So he's bombing it off the tee and keeping it relatively straight. That's a recipe for success in modern golf, for sure.
Yeah.
What about the rest of his game, the approaches, the putting?
Well, his approach play, statistically speaking, it presents an area with potential for growth. His strokes gained, approach the green currently sits at 99th.
Okay, so room for improvement there.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, his greens in regulation rate of 65.61% is solid, definitely not bad. But improving his proximity to the hole on those approaches could, lead to even more birdie opportunities.
Makes sense.
However, his putting performance has been notably strong recently, averaging a positive .028 strokes gained, putting over his last 5 tournaments.
So the putter's been hot lately.
Seems like it. And overall, his strokes gained total is definitely on an upward trajectory. His current 7th position in the FedEx Cup standings with over 1,000 points, that reflects his consistent high-level play.
Okay, this minimalist superstar tag keeps popping up. For those of us who aren't, golf swing gurus, what exactly does that entail in practical terms? What does it look like?
From what we gather, it's really a philosophy centered on simplicity and a deep understanding of the fundamentals. His long-standing relationship with his coach, Hans Larsson, that's built on a foundation of understanding why certain techniques are effective, not just, blindly following instructions.
Knowing the why, not just the what.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's known for his disciplined approach, his ability to absorb information really effectively, and his unwavering commitment to his practice routines. Even his swing is often described as fundamentally sound and remarkably efficient, sort of without excessive moving parts. One source highlighted his dedication to specific drills, like an impact drill he apparently did diligently for 2 whole years.
2 years on one drill?
Yeah, and a current backswing drill he's maintained for 4 years. I mean, that level of commitment is pretty rare.
Wow. It definitely sounds like he's got a maturity and focus way beyond his years. So considering this rapid ascent, those impressive wins, that Masters performance, his Ryder Cup heroics, what's the crystal ball saying about Ludvig Åberg's future? And what are the betting markets hinting at for the 2025 Masters?
Well, expectations for Åberg at the 2025 Masters are understandably sky high. His debut performance, finishing 2nd, demonstrated his ability to contend at the highest level under intense pressure. Doing that on your first attempt at Augusta is just a massive feat.
Huge.
Now, the specific betting odds weren't available in the profile source we looked at for, every market, right?
Sure, it's early.
But the very fact that he's being profiled as a potential contender, with significant emphasis put on that runner-up finish, it strongly suggests that he's considered a serious threat by the odds makers.
Absolutely. A rookie finishing that strong at Augusta, that's the kind of performance that sends shockwaves through the golf world and definitely gets the attention of those placing the bets, no doubt about it.
Exactly. And with 2 PGA Tour victories already under his belt, by this point, the 2023 RSM Classic and the 2025 Genesis Invitational, he has absolutely proven he can win against top-tier competition.
Yep.
Many analysts, many observers, they believe he possesses the talent and, just as importantly, the temperament to win multiple major championships. And, establish himself as one of the truly elite players in the game for years to come.
Right.
And his participation in the 2024 Olympics also just underscores his current standing and future potential on that global stage.
So there you have it. A deep dive into the captivating story of Ludvig Åberg, from the supposedly most boring town in Sweden to the very, very exciting cusp of golf superstardom.
What a ride so far.
What an incredible journey. He's undeniably electrifying, undeniably cool, and whether you see his rapid rise as, a breath of fresh air or maybe even a little bit disruptive to the established order, one thing is crystal clear. He's injecting a serious dose of excitement into the world of golf.
And what's truly compelling here is that fusion, isn't it? Of the natural talent, the unwavering dedication, and that remarkably grounded approach that seems to be the bedrock of his success.
Yeah.
It prompts an intriguing question for you, our listener. What does Aberg's meteoric rise really signify for the future landscape of professional golf and maybe the evolving pathways to reaching the pinnacle of the sport?
Ooh, a truly fascinating thought to ponder. Thanks for diving deep with us on this special episode, Ludvig Åberg, on Golfunity, the most popular golf infotainment podcast in town.
Been great chatting about him.
If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of this Swedish sensation, make sure you ring the bell and follow us on all our social media channels for more funny, exciting, cool, and maybe even a little controversial takes on the captivating world of golf.
Don't miss out. Head over to our social media.
Yeah?
Tell us what you think.
Let's hear it.
And give us your predictions for the future of golf.
Until next time.
Keep it in the fairway.
And hit 'em straight.